with my account where it says my account's been suspended. So if I log out, they'll probably, but I'm talking to Clubhouse. Say it again.
It was
You know why your account's suspended?
When they saw them ushering JT to the mountaintop. So that was one. The other thing was I wanted to reiterate that we can create and hold the same space of value. I didn't even ping Grant into this room and he came in.
Jason,
Hold on a minute. Good morning, Perez Hilton, my friend. Chauncey, yesterday calling shit out. I got love for you. We have a relationship outside the app, and that is the transparency I'm trying to bring, that we are not bound to the culture. And bring Game back up. We are not bound to the culture of Clubhouse. I enjoy going in the Game and Gigi's rooms. I enjoy going into Tiffany Haddish's rooms, not because they're celebrities, but because they add extreme value. But to see Black people on here who look like me, preying on people that look like us, by joining stages with people who are actively out scamming and taking advantage of people of color and women and disrespecting them in that way. And y'all took 3 weeks to call them out when I've been called them out. I've been blocked them. Now I blocked Django and Jenga too. I wouldn't be supporting them either. So I just asked you the question, what are you looking for? And is your moral compass for sale?
Jason, it's Perez. I just want to throw something out there because I know you're very smart and you've been doing something similar that I've done for a while. My thought is you giving these people attention and energy is only helping them, I think.
No,
this is
Nikki
Tess.
said that to me
Agree.
last night. Nikki said that to me last night, part of me is how do we bring awareness, without building them up? But what I've learned just from what you just said and what Nikki said to me last night is I sat and watched some of the same people that were in the room last night go right over there. Let me block Calvin really quick, 1 second. Go right over there and share the space with them, And so I just, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe you just create the space that you want to have and make sure that they're not a part of it. But I just find it to be very interesting. And maybe this is just a social study for me. I don't know.
No, but I
Jason,
think it also.
I want Perez. I do see that side of it, but Jason, I would say what you've done has been so powerful, and I feel like so needed. I think having conversations that are rooted in integrity, holding people accountable. I think I was in rooms with you yesterday and today based on this. I've been so impressed by the grace with which you've shown, especially women and other people of color. You're speaking truth to power. It's coming from a good place. You feel like people have been predators towards others, and you're speaking up and you're saying something. When we see something that's not just, we have to speak on it. And sure, everyone, and this brings up a lot of emotions. People have a passion about it. So has everyone been perfect in these conversations? Absolutely not. But I think the content that you're bringing and the conversation that you're starting absolutely have to happen. When things like these happen on Clubhouse or outside of Clubhouse, I would hope that each of you, no matter where you see things like this happen, would stand up and speak about what's right and have people's back and really create spaces where people feel safe to be able to share their experiences and their emotions. So I think it's been so worthwhile to be able to have people like Jason who are able to share why this means something to them and also open up the opportunity for others to do the same.
So Jason Lee kicked me to the audience. So.
No, that was not intentional. I was trying to make you a moderator.
I'm chilling, man. Hey, yo, what I was gonna say though, Jay, is that you have one of the biggest media outlets. I've seen it when it was, when you were starting it, and what you got to be proud of yourself for what it is now, what it's going to be in the future. You're in the business of, there's no way around you giving people any type of light, because if you talk about it, if you speak on it, you give them light. But that is your business. So I think that my advice to you is just to keep doing you, man, and don't really worry about that. You're going to have to, if you don't like something, or you don't like something that someone's doing, and you want to bring awareness to what they're doing and tell people that this person is this like this and this person is like that, yeah, bro, that's your business. So you're not going to be able to get around that. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I was going to say real quick, I want to say, like, Perez, I totally get where you're coming from, but I think also it's just a different day now. It's like we have platforms where minorities, and you're a minority, Perez. You know, you were one of the limited people that can speak and say certain things, and because of, and I can't even imagine the shit you dealt with when you were, you know, doing your thing. But now we have a platform as minorities to speak and to speak up about shit that we've been complaining about and upset about, things that have hurt our communities and so on and so forth. So I just think it's a great time, and you choose to pick your battles when you pick your battles. At the end of the day, Jason chooses to pick his battles and is bringing attention, is helping us. God bless his soul. If you God bless your soul. If you choose to do it behind the scenes, God bless your soul. But there's things now that we have to bring up,
Yeah,
and
and I don't
always
ever
in this space as we
see
do
me being
this.
the quiet type. I mean, between you and I mean not between you and I because we're on this app. I have a whole file on JT Fox sitting right here on my desk because I've been doing my own research, digging into who he is, looking into his taxes, looking into the shit about him on the media, and reading articles how he mind fucks people. Like once I saw how he moved on the app and how he did what he did, I started doing my own research. There was a lady who came in yesterday who said she is strictly on this app sourcing data on scams on people who are moving in a certain way. And I won't say who texts me off the app, but somebody who's really high up in another space that says she's the real deal and that she's really on here doing her thing. So the right people are enjoying discovering what we're all discovering. I just have a problem where we don't believe we're great enough to create our own platforms, like to create our own thread of power. Like I don't need nobody's affect. I don't need to get the affection from people that don't look like me to validate how I'm moving in this world. Like
Amen.
I didn't make all this money because I went into a JT Fox room. And I don't get why we are the hot sauce of the culture, have not figured out how to come together. Now I will say, I'll give shout out again to Game and Gigi, right? Their room, there's always a different topic of value in there. They had something on there the other day that was talking about, and it wasn't fibrosis, but it was women shit that was, it was some serious stuff.
Endometriosis.
I mean, I don't even
And
know
we
how to
call that
spell it, but
shit,
I know what it
we call
is.
that shit vagina
I
time.
know what it is because I have 5
I
sisters.
just smoked the endo.
Right, but no, you don't just smoke the endo. What you do is you lend your platform to help elevate other people to have a voice in this space. That's what's happening. So again, I just hope that, just as I was in that room and there were people holding that stage because there was over 1,000 people, somehow these numbers are doing something to your mentalities or something. But like you can go create your own 1,000-something room. If we want to blow this up to 5,000 right now, if consciously do it, we could, because we have the relationship. So I hope that people are being smart, and when you see people start rooms to become your leader, because you look up to them because they're going to feed you a green bean, telling you to beware of people that they have been supporting on the app. You should be smart enough to say, yo, I'm not fucking with y'all, I'm out.
I think that if there's one person, Imani, go ahead. I'll go after you, Imani.
I was going to say the important part of this conversation is that this is the shit that's happening off the app. And y'all know I typically come, I'm always at, just being a part of the tribe, adding value and being positive. But this is the shit that people are really dealing with off the app. These microaggressions, these sexist type of shit is the stuff that really we get to see in live time with people that are on this app, and how it is that they are interacting with non-binary people, LGBTQ people, Black people, marginalized folks. And when we call it out and when we say what it is, it's not something that we have to backtrack on, because guess what? Jason said weeks ago about this guy, and the same people, and literally what he's saying doesn't need to go brushed around. The same people were still in these rooms. The same people were still on these stages. The hustler guy, when he made that room about being offended about Black-owned businesses being called Black-owned businesses, just some bullshit. Same people were still on the stages with him. He was disrespecting Black men left and right. I think Farah, he kept cutting off, or whatever the case may be, and people were still on those stages. There are still people that attribute the same type of microaggressions, but in different ways. The same people that are sitting and they want to rub elbows with these people, they ain't making no money with these people. These people ain't offering no opportunities to these people, but at the same time, they're still cultivating a culture that is very much cancerous. It's a pestilence. And this is stuff that we have to name it and we have to shame it and call it out for what it is. And anybody that has a problem with that, too damn bad, because these are the things that are keeping people marginalized outside of these places. This is why we have so many rooms about how Black businesses can get venture capital, because we don't get the access, we don't get the equity, we don't get the same opportunities. And what we're seeing here is the reason why there are certain people that want to stay on the top and keep certain people at the bottom. And there are certain people that are willing to do and say and be whatever in order to make sure that they stay that way. And it is our job, those of us who have a voice and feel like we need to speak truth to that fucking power, name it, shame it, call it what it is, and stop allowing these people to be in these spaces. Yes, we create our own spaces. The majority of the people that are on these stages are the people that I literally follow, listen to, and implement the shit in which they say, because I see it with my own eyes. But if we didn't have the opportunity to know what it is that's going on, we would never know that literally these things are what's keeping us from forward advancing. And to Jason's point about creating our own avenues, creating our own lanes, all of these other type of things, it is important that people get that within their mind, that literally looking at a prima donna, looking at a Jason Lee, and implementing the things that they had to do. Because guess what? Jason Lee had to encounter the same things that we're encountering on this app. Prima Donna had to encounter some of those things. And I know she can't talk about it in depth because she had to go to court for something similar to this. But this is stuff that is really keeping people at the top and trying to push other people out. And we have to continue to speak the truth to power, like I said, and continue to have these forums, because no, it's not necessarily a moment of giving them more followers or giving them more credibility. It's saying that, no, this shit is fucked up. We are going to name who it is that you are. We are going to put your business out there. We are going to investigate who it is that you are, and know that you are a scammer or you are somebody who's really a pestilence to this shit. And it can't stand no more.
The
Exactly.
reality of it is,
Yes.
you real quick. The reality of it is that it doesn't matter who goes to the top of the mountain and screams or whatever this guy's name. The people that are going to follow him are going to follow him. So to say somebody shouldn't speak out against ridiculousness or someone being rude or predatory in any way towards women or whatever, or even just having a negative placement on this platform, to say that, oh, well, you're helping them get followers. The people that are going to follow them are assholes too. And I think that, that doesn't matter to the greater good, right? Like, they're going to follow them regardless. You're going to be in these situations and they're going to be disrespecting us as a whole. And people are going to be like, well, I don't want to say he's a negative person because he's going to get some followers. Fuck him. And I don't even know who this guy is. I've never been in a room that he's been into, maybe because I don't get invited to speak in these spaces. I know some of the people in those rooms, and it's fine. I think that what we need to do is think about how we can make this space more conducive for positivity and growth, and not about allowing people that are predatory in nature to remain in spaces where other people that have credentials or whatever, because you're co-signing them. That's what it is. You're giving them a co-sign. I'm not going to align myself with somebody who isn't a respectful person, who isn't open to learning, who isn't open to listening, because you're basically saying it's okay to be disrespectful. It's just not me doing the disrespecting. So, these are the realities of it, and we can dance around it. But if you're giving this person the platform, fuck talking negative about him. I don't know who he is, but if we're in the rooms and we're giving him a platform to basically rub shoulder to shoulder, literally side by side with someone who isn't giving the information in a positive way, or isn't giving the respect to people when necessary, which is all the time. I think that what I've learned from the game in Gigi's rooms, just being able to be a moderator with them, they'll sit there and explain things to people being disrespectful. And most of the time it comes out in a very positive way, but nobody's kicked to the goulash, nobody's silenced, nobody's put out of these spaces when they have a difference of opinion. And if we can do it in the game in Gigi's room, and we're talking about all different types of subject matter, if you're talking about investment properties, CDs, or whatever the fuck is going on in these other rooms, how to be a millionaire in 13 minutes or whatever, you can be respectful too. And if you can't do that, if you can't do the minimalist amount of respect that it takes to just be a decent human being, then get the fuck out of here. Like, nobody should be babying around this dude. Like, who is he?
Hey,
So then I
hey,
did. So then I
Jason.
asked the
I'm
question, why?
gonna say something. Go ahead, Nikki, really quick.
I was just going to say, so then I asked the question and almost challenge everyone. There are people even on this stage right now that have advocated for equality and have acted as if they're standing up for other folks or even themselves, yet they're still joining those rooms and not creating spaces on their own. Is it that we're scared that we can't hold court alone?
No, girl, I'm going to speak on this right now
Scared.
because I had to do it. The game. Go ahead.
Scared. Who we scared of?
Nah, we're not scared of anybody because I'm not talking about us.
See,
I'm
what it
talking about
is,
other people.
what it is it was a disconnect between people thinking that, I don't even think it was thinking anything. I think this is just something that's so new. This platform is so new. We're all evolving every day and we're all vetting conversations and vetting experiences. But the reality of the matter is progressive thinking and progressive action in the situation is going to come from these top members that are standing alongside him. And I had to take the initiative this morning. I started my one of my very first rooms this morning with my audience and gave them a space to talk about what was going on. And not only that, but progressive thinking is that we have to create spaces where information goes over these names and the follows. We have so many people on here that are gifted and talented in these spaces. And the reason why these rooms are full is because people are desperate for the information they think they're going to receive there. And if we create, and that's Adrian and Anthony, I'm gonna speak on you guys, because every time you go into Adrian or Anthony's room, you are going to learn marketing. You are going to learn that area of expertise, and people are going to be able to take applicable, actionable steps to go to the next level, whatever it is. What the problem is that so many people are worried about brushing shoulders with these names because of followers and algorithm bullshit, that we're not creating our own spaces full of quality, and people are becoming addicted to counterfeit information they're receiving in these spaces. I get so irritated, and I should, my follower count would be way more if I was active on this app like my colleagues, but what I can't handle is the fluff and the bullshit. I know what it's like to help a startup business get started, and none of these tips and none of these rooms are helping those people. And that's why this person has leverage, because he's selling a promise. The whole entire issue in America is because we have people selling a dream to people who could never, ever, 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 ever afford to buy it. So they just pour their pennies in and they continue to stay broke, and they don't understand financial literacy. And then you have big leaders like us who are sitting here fighting day in and day out, who can't be on these platforms because we haven't learned collaboration. We haven't learned leverage to the extent that they have. And we don't create these pods of people that work together to cure. Sorry, I got a phone call. To curate situations and platforms for these people to come up and actually get what they need in their cup. And that's what I'm frustrated with. And I took accountability last night because I was one of the people that was standing on those stages that was getting pulled up by JT Fox every time I walked into a room, not because I belonged there, but because I had stood up for my friend Akime, who brought me in, held space for me in. And so he felt like he needed to respect me and honor me and bring me into space. That's fucking bullshit. And I was wrong for staying there and thinking that he was making a shift. That man is psychologically advanced and intelligent. And just like all the marketers and you guys can I'll shut up in a second. Y'all got this. This is your room. This is your space. But what I want to say is that the issue is the issue. This man does not need our publicity or our saying his name anymore. But there are some leaders on this stage right now that I want to challenge. And you guys are powerful people. Your education of the masses on this audience over the next 3 months and how you position yourself and the value that you give, and you know this right now, there are people starving for what they need, and we have a responsibility to give that to them, or we don't even have the fucking right to speak on situations like this, because we're not going to do anything about it. We have no reason to speak on it. So I want to see, and I want to challenge my colleagues, and I have stepped into this with action steps this morning to create and curate spaces where real value and real knowledge is given, so that these people are not going to empty spaces to get empty shit poured into their cup.
Facts.
Hey,
And if I could
look,
just say something, if you can moderate for me, because believe it or not, somebody did something with my account where it says my account's been suspended. So if I log out, they'll probably, but I'm talking to Clubhouse on text right now, so they're gonna fix it. But somebody did some petty shit, so I can't even bring people up or anything.
Wow.
Okay, cool.
hey,
Jason,
Jason.
DJ Game, hold it down.
Yeah,
Jason.
that's crazy.
Jason, check this out. Hey, look, I'm not gonna hold you. It's Julian. So about 3 weeks ago, I made the conscious decision that I'm only messing with the game, Nikki and Gigi. And Jason, if you ping me, I'll come into a room. But I stopped doing all of the rooms that I was doing. I could already see the change in the app. I could already see stuff going left.
I got a message last night about what was going on with you. So I came in and popped into one of the rooms, and basically I saw somebody who what you would never even talk to in real life, who's coming sideways at you, and then there was all these, all these other people chiming in that you would never ever speak to in real life. So right now, this whole week I've barely been on the app. So I kind of really just sort of stepped back a bit and just decided when I do come on, I'm either lending value, speaking something about something that I understand and know. I'm going to drop what I need to say and then I'm going to bounce. But the days of being on here for 8 hours, 10 hours, 18 hours, like when I first started on the app, those days are over. So like for me, it's literally I'm coming in, doing what I need to do, saying what I need to say. For you, I would stick to your rooms and do like what you do and control your platform. And if you want to point some shit out about somebody, do it in your room on your stage. Like, you wouldn't go on somebody else's show, you know what I mean, in real life. So I would just keep it to that, man. And like right now, just the app is a different world right now. So I've made my conscious decision. I'm not on here like that. I'm on here when I have some shit I need to say.
Yeah, I feel that Julian is right on point for like what I was going to say. What I was going to start off saying is just that if you've been on this app for a few months or, even a few weeks at this point, you can kind of tell where the energy that is for you is at. And so if you make the conscious decision to go into some of these rooms, I mean, you are basically throwing yourself in the fire, right? Because the option is at your fingertips. I think for Jason, the best advice for you, my brother, is just to keep doing you. You are in a business of mess, right? Media and the things that you have to do on a daily basis, getting people the news that they need. You're going to create, and you have created enemies, and you have created a platform of people who support you. So you can't stop doing what you're doing unless by all means you just don't love it anymore, right? Because that's when you should. But if you love what you do, bro, just keep continuing to do what you do. Stay in your rooms. It's not really, it's not really imperative that you go into other rooms, and not just you, just all of us, right? Go into other rooms that there's no value. I like to do my research before I make a decision on people or pass any type of judgment. I assess the situation. I've heard the JT dude name quite a few times. I don't know who he is. I don't know what he does, but I've heard just a few stories of him doing the same thing to different people. And so I don't go in those rooms just based on that. But then one day I was like, let me just go in here and be a fly on the wall, with my little burner account. So I go in there and I'm just a fly on the wall and I'm listening, man. And it's exactly what I thought it is. These dudes are scammers. Like, I mean, I heard what the Queen was saying before, spoke before Julian, but it's a scam, man. It's clickbait. It's set up with emojis to pull you in that mimic other rooms emojis, these rooms where they just try to help you be a millionaire type shit. Like, it doesn't work. It's kind of like Wolf of Wall Street, right? They preying on these people who don't even who, I don't know, man, just don't need this whack ass information that they given. Like, I'm a self-made millionaire. I know that there are easier ways and that you can do it by yourself if you just dedicate yourself to something that you love, right? It doesn't take all this extra bullshit that they doing in these rooms. So my advice would just be to not be fooled by that shit. They all look the same. You could literally look in the hallway and see that it's a bullshit room, and then you scroll down and go into something that adds value to your life, man. That's just my advice.
And the other
I
way
agree with you,
that
game. You're right on point. The issue though is that there's a lot of big names on the platform as well that still support this motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
And I just went on his stage, and I appreciated Chauncey calling his boy out too, Jeremy. So he's got his cronies now, and they're trying to do a debate, but it ain't really a debate. He's got his lawyer, he's got his CEO of some companies, whatever companies those are. It's like ambiguous. I went on there to say, look, let me give you my testimony as a witness, not hearsay. I don't know about your scams. I don't know about any of that. I'm just going to tell you face to face. I was right on his stage just about 10 minutes ago. And I want to tell you what I saw you do in a room. And I had to cut you off because you berated two women who were not women you were coaching. These were women that were moderators. I wasn't there for what he did to you, Akemi, but I'm talking about two other women that I was there for and I saw myself. So, you know, I'm like you, Game. I'm not going to judge anybody for what's online on the internet, but I saw what this dude did right in front of me. So based on that, and then I also saw some other bullshit that's a straight up scam. And every business person in this room, this dude made a claim, and I was a moderator in this room, and he said, I heard a pitch yesterday, and after I heard this pitch, I bought the company today. I'm like, I don't know what lawyer you have,
That's
right?
bullshit.
That can
Yo,
turn
that's
around a
crazy.
motherfucking
That's
What?
closing in
crazy.
24 hours. Do you know what I mean? You know, you can't get a good NDA turned around in 24 hours. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So when people don't, nobody that didn't ring a bell, that didn't sound some alarms, you know, and then you got very successful people that still follow this guy around. It's a problem, man. So I think all of us here, I appreciate Jason, you know, I appreciate you holding this space and bringing realness to the situation, because at the end of the day, Chauncey, like, people that just, you got to have balls to stand up to this guy. I don't need shit from this platform, from no one on this platform. I was doing well before I found out about this shit. And the guy I hired to do my marketing put me onto this shit. And it's a distraction, to be honest. I should just be running my business.
Anthony, that's
No,
why.
but here's the thing.
If I went in the house, go ahead. Go. Who was the woman
This
talking
is
next?
me. I've been trying to talk for like 5 minutes because I actually been in this room with this guy before. And here's the thing. The issue is not that he's a scam. The issue is that there are people on Clubhouse who come to Clubhouse and they are getting a lot of value from some of these successful people. And then, like Jason said, the reason why he started this room, you sit your phony ass on the stage with this guy and you know he fake. You know he fake. You know he's not going to add value. And that is where it's messing up, because now you're following, you were co-signing this guy. It's like you're putting a stamp. I think Alyssa, you were on the stage before. Alyssa, are you there? And this guy was
I'm here.
there. And do you remember the stage where the same stage about the why do black owned business have to call black owned business? Either way the case may be, he came on there and he said a lot of things right there that struck a nerve in me. So I left it alone because he doesn't speak to understand. He just speaks to talk. So, and he doesn't hear to listen. So it was just like, okay, I'm dealing with a narcissist. I don't have time for this. Now, as far as him scamming, I just heard about all of this today. I don't care what he does, but it's just the fact that it's how he is doing it, and people are co-signing it, because what happens in the dark gonna come to the light, guys. That's just the moral of the story. You can only sell bullshit for so long and then it start to stink. I don't care what kind of roses he's perpetrating right now, what kind of millions he's telling you he can make you, what kind of receipts he's adding. You're only going to be able to do that for so long. So it's like, if you know these rooms don't add value, don't go in the room. We've already called the spade a spade. There are still going to be people who can get on the app an hour or two and miss this whole conversation. So now they're back in the room with this guy because they didn't hear this conversation. Because let's just be clear, I know I do. I have a real life. People are texting. Nobody's going to be texting, updating you on the Clubhouse topic for the day. It's not really that much of, it's only informative on Clubhouse, if that makes sense. It's kind of like Vegas, man. What happened in Vegas stays in Vegas. And it's like, what happens on my phone in my Clubhouse, it stays in Clubhouse. I log out and I'm done. I'm going back to my daily routine, my work. I'm not focused on any Clubhouse scammers. So I feel that people
Jason,
have to
I
Jason,
go
was gonna
ahead.
say. I was gonna say
Jason,
after.
I,
Let me go.
I just want to say
Ray,
something
Ray.
to Jason
Hold
real
on,
quick.
go ahead,
Real
Ray.
quick.
Hold on one
Wow,
I
second,
wait,
think
because
prima
you
donna.
y'all,
Hold
prima
on.
donna was not finished.
was
Prima
prima
donna
donna
was
Please
not
don't,
done?
finished.
please
And
don't
that
Hold
think
on.
always
I
Queen,
happens
think the
on this
please.
queen,
app.
I
I'm
think the
always
queen was
being
still
cut off.
talking.
Thank you.
Like,
Wow. Thank you, game.
like
I
hold
appreciate
on
it.
one
Wow.
second. Can we just give her a breath first? Like, before anybody jumps in, out of respect. Like,
Thank you,
she was
money.
literally
Thank
in the
you.
middle of that. So
Yes.
before you think that she's finished, just give yourself a breath and then proceed. But please, sorry, prima donna.
No, it's fine. I really appreciate it, guys. It's this that is what happens in Clubhouse. I have experienced that so many times in Clubhouse, where not only women, but if you are a black woman, you get shut down. And I checked and I called out my black
Especially
woman.
when you got your pink hair slayed.
Preach.
But go off.
I'm telling you, thank you. But that was for a gender reveal. And I do that for a reason. Because I remember when I first came on this app, I came on this app with a suit. And I say, no, I'm gonna come on this app and I'm gonna show all the girls in the audience, ghetto black girls. Yes, this is a multimillionaire with her pink hair. She's not changing how she speaks. I'm not gonna articulate my words too good. I'm surprised I said that word, but I'm going to represent value not only for where I am in life, but for where they can go. I want them to see how far that they can be. So these JTs are problems if a prima donna goes sit in a room, because all my people have is hope. And when they see me, that's like me giving a stamp of approval. And they're gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna go work with this guy." Next thing you know, this girl give you all her hard-earned money from her small business, thinking you can, equate the success that I've had because she's seen me on stage with you. It does add a stamp of approval. But guys, I really appreciate you for standing up. But a lot of times, like I said, they do just cut us off. And I'm used to it because I'm like, well, it's Clubhouse, whatever. It's not that serious. I start my own room and then I keep it going. But
That wasn't my intention.
no problem. And now I'm done. Y'all can speak. I'm sorry.
Hey, well,
Hey,
yeah.
I
Hey,
wanted to
y'all.
say,
Hey, I just before you go, brother. I want to wish y'all a amazing Saturday, man. I'm out of here, Jason. Thank you. Everybody, be cool.
Of course, I'll be in your
hey,
room
Bro.
later when they unsuspend
awesome.
my account. I'm so
All right,
annoyed
King.
right now.
Hey,
Bless up, King.
Jason, I wanted to say, so this is Fernando. I've
And
been,
Fernando, we're having our call this morning, by the way.
yeah, no, I know. Don't worry about it, man. I got you. When I first got onto Clubhouse about 4 weeks ago, everything that Prima Donna, Imani, Game, everything everybody's saying here, I honestly wasn't even thinking about it, right? And it wasn't until like, I don't know, it was like a week ago or maybe a little bit more. Jason held a room where he basically asked the question, why are you guys still fucking with JT? And from that moment on, I made two changes. The first change was I changed my bio. And the reason I changed my bio was because, look, I love business. I've been a businessman now for over 20 years. And in the game of business, the scorecard is money. And so my bio basically posted my score. But then what I realized was, first of all, it's not even fair for me to even post that score because that's 20 years later. And somebody just coming onto the app sees that and then they think, oh man, yes, that's aspirational. I could do that now. No, you can't. I mean, unless you're really, 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 really lucky, you just won't. So I felt like that was it was leading people down the wrong path. The other thing that I did was I just stopped going to those rooms. And initially I went into those rooms because I really did feel like I could provide something of value, especially because I'm not selling shit. I don't have a course. I don't have a coaching program. There is not a penny that you could send my way that is needed by me, nor will I even accept it because I'm not selling you anything. So I felt like, all right, I'm sure. Listen, if you're in a room and it's talking about millionaires giving advice and there's 30 millionaires on the stage, I promise you there's no way there's 30 millionaires on that stage. It's just the law of numbers basically tells you there's no way there's that many millionaires on that stage, right? But I did it and I was in there because I said, look, I know I'm going to be able to provide with a real story and tell you for real what I went through. But then I just stopped because a week or a week and a half ago, when Jason said that, I said, you know what? That's true. Why am I fucking, with JT still or whoever it was? Now, I do want to just mention, like, before, I'm so glad, Imani jumped on. I don't know if anybody heard me, but I was like, guys, Prima Donna hasn't, she didn't finish. Why is everybody talking? But like on Clubhouse is one of those things, right? Like we don't see each other. So a lot of times it's by mistake, but I'll tell you this. There's a lot of times where it's very, very clear. Like Prima Donna said, people are hearing, but they're not listening. And they're talking not to be understood, but rather to just talk and just spew things. And so, Jason, I'll tell you, I stopped going into those rooms. And what I started doing, like, I just started creating my own rooms. And they're usually pretty small. There's less than 100 people, usually less than 50 people. And what I found is that in each one of those, it's always been so much more impactful. So I completely agree with Prima Donna in saying, hey, go start your own rooms. Even if there's only 10, 15, 20 people, it doesn't matter. Yesterday, we were in a room. At the peak of it, there was maybe 70 people. But there was this young lady. She's the first or one of the first African-American women who owns an olive oil company. You know what I did? I went in and I bought one of
almost everything. There was a few flavors in there that I wasn't vibing with, so I didn't order them. But I placed a pretty big order, and I put the receipt on my profile picture. Guess what? 4 or 5 other people went and bought her product. Why? Because when they see you, everybody on this stage is a leader. Everybody. If Jason starts a room, I'm gonna go into it. Now I know there was a little problem in that other one with Charisse, but honestly, and I'm just gonna be real with you. If I see Charisse opening up a room, I'm gonna go into it. If I see Prima Donna or Imani, I'm gonna go in. And just like there's one of me, there's thousands just like me that are going to follow you, even if it's just a handful. But I promise you that the impact you're going to create in that little room is way, way greater than anything you're going to find in some of these bigger rooms. And then after the lady with the olive oil company, a 17-year-old girl, same thing, black girl, mother and daughter team. They own a lemonade.
Hey, Fernando, I want to jump in when I can, please.
Yeah. So she came in and I started mentoring her absolutely free. I'm not charging her. I'm not charging her mother. Why? Because I've spent 20 years in business. I think I could add value. Our first call is coming up next week. And while she was in my room, the little room of 50 people, 70 people or whatever, and everybody bought boxes of lemonade. I bought a box of lemonade. And again, I feel like the value is in these smaller rooms. Jason probably can't help it. Every time he opens up a room, there's like 1,000 people. But Jason, I just wanted to say that based on that last room we did, those were the changes that I made. And look, if I offended anybody, or if anybody's mad at me for being in those rooms, I apologize. I'm giving you, or I'm telling you why I'm in those rooms.
No, you're great.
That's
You're
who I
fine.
am.
You're great. Don't worry about it. You're good. Listen, somebody bring up Michael Moriarty from below. Bring up because my account is suspended, which is funny. Ben,
Imani, you got this?
who's below, Nate who's
I got
below,
you.
and Malika.
Wait.
Hold
Your
on, hold
account is
on, hold
suspended.
on. Listen, hold on. Just listen to the names I'm telling you. Malika below. She's in the first group of people below the stage. K Deuce, Ben, and what's this? I don't know if anybody else. And Nate. If you could just bring those folks up real quick, and if Malika, you go ahead. You know, it was crazy when Malika left. They were like, "Oh, he's bringing up people that he knows," and I've never met Malika, but I was in a room where I heard Malika speak about real shit on Clubhouse, and I thought, why not add her to the conversation? Malika, have we ever met?
We met at BeautyCon before.
Okay, so we have met, but we don't know each other like that, right?
No, we don't know each other, but we've been in the same spaces, and I respect you, so I wasn't going to allow anyone to disrespect you. So I didn't appreciate it, and it had nothing to do with, oh, Jason told me to come do that. I just went off on my Harlem shit. Like, no, you're not going to disrespect the black man. You called him a predator, and I wasn't feeling that. So I said what I said, and I left, and I started a room going off on her.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wanted to bring you up only because you were shut out that room. I didn't like that, but thank you for the support.
Jason, you know why your account suspended, right?
Say it again.
It was
You know why
reported.
your account suspended?
It was
Why?
reported.
Because
Why?
they're targeting you because you're influential. Because that's usually what they do when you're saying something that's positive. But if you're in here scamming people and you're doing a whole bunch of other things, they're gonna allow that.
Well, this Clubhouse just told me that JT Fox's account was suspended and he's created another account, so they're dealing with that too. And I'm just asking him because I know I have this book review with Bagani later. I think she's below too. We should bring her up. And I just want to make sure that I can still participate because I think if I leave this app right now, I'll be suspended until they fix it. But they're fixing it. But I don't know how the hell I would be suspended for talking about keeping the community safe. It's crazy.
No, it's Jason, because in the other room they started calling to report you. That's why.
Exactly what
Yeah,
I
they
said.
send trolls.
They were telling people to report me.
So this is what they do because they've been doing it to all
Wow.
the
Yeah,
major
that's why I pinged you to
influencers.
the room, Jason.
They
That's why I
send
had pinged
trolls
you to
from the
that
other
room.
room to come in here and report you, and then they put false statements on the room. Like it happened in my account, it happened to a few other people, and then they want you to delegate and then get all political. But the fact is, like, you shouldn't have to do that when you're seeing something positive.
Okay.
Can you guys
Too.
give me Calvin and Sharice's profile names, please?
Last
Yeah,
part is
and
Simons.
hey
Calvin and
guys,
Grace Simmons.
No, spell it. Just give it to me. I'm saying it to Clubhouse right now, and they're saying they're gonna get it resolved for me. So I just need their account.
I'll look it up.
Okay.
And hey,
But I was
hey
just
guys, it's Maria down at the bottom. I just wanted to say one thing really quick. Thank you, Jason, for starting this room, and thank you guys for bringing me up. And also thank you to Fernando for setting an example and like supporting those businesses, just as I know a lot of people on this stage do. But I wanted to bring a little bit of positive light. I hear exactly what everyone is saying, and I want you guys to understand that I know last night, I think I fell asleep at like 6 a.m. this morning, Eastern time, because your room was going so long. But I heard someone say yesterday if anyone was using a disclaimer, and I just wanted to let you guys know, yes, me and my government contracting co-founder have to use a disclaimer because we're the government. So we need to make sure that we're telling everyone, hey, yes, we're the government, but this is our opinion. But I think it was Julian that said earlier to not necessarily check someone when it's not your room and you're just brought on stage. But I actually kind of disagree with that respectfully, because I think that we have a responsibility to call out BS and call out scams, even when we're on stage and when we're co-moderating. So, and exactly what Fernanda was saying, the smaller rooms do provide a lot of value. My coworker and I are doing this out of the kindness of our heart and trying to give those free government resources to people so they're not spending thousands of dollars to get literally publicly available information. So, but I just wanted to say I totally appreciate what this room stands for and everyone calling everyone out. And I want you guys to know that there are people like me that are on this platform that are trying to be the change that we hope to see.